We are here in Washington, D.C. at the Elastic Public Sector Summit. We've got just the right guy to talk to here, Bill Wright, who's head of global government affairs for Elastic. And I want to talk to you about a lot, but I'm really interested in how, particularly right now, this is such a great time to have this conversation about what the heck does government do? But maybe how government is different than the private sector. And in your role dealing with government relations, how is government different than the private sector when it comes to the cutting edge technology like Elastic's?
We hear from our customers all the time. I think they face some unique challenges that maybe their private sector industry does not face. I would say at the top level, their budgeting can be a little difficult if you think about it.
Be more specific. Tell me.
Sure. So because they have to go through a 2-year budget cycle, and if there's one truism in Washington, it's that innovation is happening way faster than public policy.
Right.
And innovation is moving constantly. So to have a 2-year cycle to try to plan, what technology you're going to need to bring in is very, very difficult. Also, there's a lot of unsurety around the budgets that are coming in each year also makes it very difficult to plan. So streamlining our acquisition and procurement process, I think, is something that is a bipartisan consensus to get around.
It's an interesting thing, though, because I think I once had a job. You don't know, among many things you don't know about me. That I had a job is shocking enough. I was an executive at a company that was trying to sell a cutting-edge technology to the financial sector, to banks.
Right.
And banks don't want to change.
Right.
And I've thought a lot about this. And in some ways, we don't want them to change too much. We just want them to be steady and safe and secure. We kind of want that out of government, but we want the efficiencies we're used to in the private sector as well. And they're kind of conflicting goals.
That's right. A lot of people rely on the government for their citizen services, rely heavily. Also, we take it for granted that information that they have is going to remain secure. If we're going to do that, we really need to bring in cutting-edge tools like Elastic. I think they have some roadblocks there. I would say that they bring in reams and reams of data, just massive amounts of data. Unfortunately, a lot of that data can get trapped in legacy software that ends up being siloed, and therefore makes it very difficult to take full advantage of
get the value out of the data.
That's right, and that's they say data is the new oil. I don't know about that, but it is very valuable, and if you're going to get the right value out of it, you really need better technology to do that.
So when you're having conversations with lawmakers or the advisors to lawmakers, let me ask the question more plainly. What is their interest in the possibilities of technology?
I think at the time now, they also want to see their citizens served. Otherwise, they hear from it. So they want citizen services to be as efficient as possible. Also, taxpayers, they want to make sure that those cost savings exist and are there. So the more efficient the technology in our agencies, the better customer service and the better value for the dollar.
I had a child who needed an emergency passport recently. 1.5, because the second one also thought he'd lost his passport. But the notion of accurate, quick, helpful government services took a whole new role that afternoon when a passport was missing.
Yeah, that's right. People think of efficiency in government as a bit anathema. I think that's changing. I think that's one of the few bipartisan viewpoints in the government is lawmakers really do want to make a more efficient government, and they want a secure government. And that's where I think Elastic can really sort of step in. Right now, government is filled with legacy software that is not sort of speaking to each other and not taking full advantage.
Shout out to COBOL
of the data. Yeah, that's right. Yes.
It's amazing. I have this thesis, tell me if it's true, that because of artificial intelligence and the experience of generative AI that ChatGPT has sort of woken people up to, that lawmakers in Washington is more interested in technology right now than it has been in the last few years because there's a new thing that they want to understand? I
think it certainly has piqued their interest. I would say that maybe the level of understanding around AI is still moving up. I think one thing they don't realize is that to have good AI, you have to have good data and large amounts of data. And so to be able to create an atmosphere where that data can be moved across agencies, so that those agencies that are tackling big problems, whether it's public health, whether it's cybersecurity, whether it's national security needs, being able to access that data across. And when that's the case, interoperability is really going to be the key. So having open standards, like open telemetry, so that the data is able to, the systems are able to communicate with each other across agencies.
I've got to imagine this level of interest, this peaked level of interest, is a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So they want to hear from us. I don't know if you've seen much of the summit today, but there's quite a bit of talk around Congress. I did a fireside chat with the head of Homeland Security Government Affairs Committee. They're very focused on streamlining acquisitions so that we can get the best technology in place, improving harmonization. A lot of our customers, a lot of our agency customers are getting different guidance from different agencies. So harmonizing those, really allowing them to go out there and get the best state-of-the-art technology as possible.
I've got to imagine also that, let me ask you, how does it work? Like functionally, how do you get in front of those kinds of decision makers so that they put in a framework that then your Elastic people can go sell into?
Yeah, so that's primarily my job, getting in front of the right people. They're in whether they're lawmakers or whether they are within the agencies. Developing this public-private partnership essentially with the agencies. A good example of this is the work that we do with CISA. We're the backbone of their CISA, Cyber Infrastructure and Security Agency.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, part of DHS. We're the backbone of their what they call the CDM program, Continuous Diagnostic and Mitigation. What that really is how that they protect the civilian agencies
from hacks.
Correct. We're the backbone of that. We're part of the Joint Cyber Defense Collaborative, which CISA runs, where us and many other industry members share cyber threat information across the board so that they can action that threat and mitigate quickly.
And again, getting before that, is it the lawmakers you're sort of concerned with who will create an environment and say, hey, these are the kinds of problems we want to be focused on that will allow you and your competitors to go in and say we've got the best solutions for it?
It's both, right? On the congressional side, you have oversight and you have funding, both big pieces of the pie. Then with the executive branch, they're implementing those laws. So you also have to have their ear. So we're focused on all of the above. How does that level of interest with AI now change the way the conversations are happening? Definitely has piqued the interest. I think that with many lawmakers and the executive branch, their imagination has taken off a little bit around how AI can help with constituent services, how it can help with
that's good.
Protecting our infrastructure, can be used for cybersecurity as well. So overall, I think it's really struck the imagination of our lawmakers, which is good.
And later today, we're going to talk to some people about observability too. And when I think of Elastic and sort of search and managing data, security and observability, I would imagine particularly with this administration right now, knowing what your systems are and where they are and counting them is taking a higher priority.
That's right. That's kind of step one, right? Understanding what you have, understanding what data you have, being able to look across your disparate data sets very often, and then allowing them to be able to communicate with each other.
So may I ask you finally, an event like this, what are you trying to get out of this? How do you try to manage this event and work it?
Good question. So for me, I'm trying to keep touch on many of the lawmakers that are here today, which are several, and to be not only our customers, but really to become a trusted advisor to all of them as they look into issues that are cutting edge, like AI,
Right.
like some of the cutting edge cybersecurity technology.
Stuff, I'm sure,
having a resource that they can come talk to and get ground truth.
Fantastic stuff. There we have it, Bill Wright, head of Global Government Affairs for Elastic here in Washington, D.C.